Welcome back! Today we're looking at two PixelLab animation tools, Animate with Text and Interpolate. Animate with Text lets you start from a single image and describe the animation you want. Interpolate works a little differently. You provide a starting frame and an ending frame, and PixelLab generates what happens between them. So let's start inside Sprite. Here, I already have a character on an 80 by 80 canvas, and I'm going to start with the new Animate with Text tool. First, I'll set the character as the reference image. Then, for the animation, I'm going to prompt idle animation, subtle breathing, blinking, seamless loop. I'll click Enhance Prompt to give the model a more detailed description of the movement. Then we can choose how many frames we want. For this one, I'm going with 6 frames. I'm also using New Frame as the output method, and I'll keep Remove Background turned on because this sprite doesn't have a background. Now let's generate. And look at that! We have a clean idle animation with subtle movement and breathing. It doesn't need to be a huge movement. Even something this simple can make a static character feel much more alive. Next, I have the same character in a different state. The legs are farther apart, so this already looks more like a walking frame. I'm going to use this as the new reference image. This time, the prompt is simply walk loop. I'll enhance the prompt, use 6 frames again, and generate. And these results are pretty nice. Because we started with a frame that already makes sense for walking, the tool has a better starting point for creating a loop. Now here's an example of what you should avoid. Looks more like a mid-run or jogging frame. If I use this as the reference and ask for a walk loop, PixelLab will still try to make a walking animation, but the starting pose doesn't match the action very well. The animation has to move from this running pose into a walking cycle, return to the original running pose to complete the loop. That makes it much harder to create a smooth result. So before generating, make sure your reference image is already a useful starting pose for the animation you want. And here's a useful tip if you're animating full characters. Instead of keeping every pose, state, and animation manually organized inside Sprite, you can use PixelLab's Character Creator. Inside the Character Creator, you can create separate states for your character. You can animate them with Animate with Text. You can use Interpolate between those states. And you can keep all the directions organized in one place. That workflow becomes especially useful when you're working with multiple animations or all 8 character directions. Now let's try Animate with Text on an object instead of a character. Here I have a wooden chest, and I'm going to set it as the reference image. For the prompt, I'm going to write, "The chest opens and reveals an entire universe inside." I'll enhance the prompt. And this time, I'm going to use 16 frames so the animation has more time to develop. Let's generate. And look at that! The chest opens and we get this whole cosmic universe appearing inside it. For another example, here I have an old man character. I'm going to use him as the reference image. And I'll prompt, "The old man performs a nice dance move, seamless loop." I'll enhance the prompt and generate. And look at that! Now we have this old man doing a full dance animation. So the tool isn't limited to idle, walking, or running. You can describe much more expressive actions, as long as the reference image gives it a useful character design to work with. Next, let's animate something more subtle. Here I have a campfire, and I only want the flames to move. I'll set the campfire as the reference image. Then I'll prompt fireplace flames moving slightly, subtle looping fire animation. I'll enhance the prompt, use 6 frames, and generate. And that's pretty nice. The fire is moving, but you may notice that a few pixels in the wood also change between frames. That could work if you want the lighting from the fire to affect the wood. But if you only want the flames to move, there's a simple way to clean it up. Copy the wood from the first frame without selecting the flames, then paste it into every other frame. That keeps the wood completely consistent while the flames continue moving. Small cleanup steps like this can make the final animation feel much more polished. Now let's try something more dramatic. Here I have a portrait of an old man, and I'm going to use it as the reference image. For the prompt, I'll write, "The old man talks and gradually transforms into an orc." I'll enhance the prompt, and I'll use 16 frames so the transformation has enough time to happen. Now let's generate. And look at that! He starts talking, and then the entire portrait gradually transforms into an orc. Another useful feature is that we can continue an animation by using its final frame as a new reference image. So I'm going to take the last frame of the transformation and set that as the reference. Then I'll prompt, "The orc laughs like an evil man." I'll enhance the prompt and generate again. And now we've extended the sequence. First, the old man transforms into an orc. Then the orc continues into a separate evil laugh animation. You can keep building animations this way by taking the final frame of one generation and using it to begin the next one. So far, we've mostly been working with smaller sprites, but Animate with Text can also work with larger images and full scenes. Here I have a 256 by 256 fighting scene with a husky holding a hammer and another dog in front of him. I'm going to set the full image as the reference. Then I'll prompt, "The husky performs a powerful hammer slam attack against the other dog." I'll enhance the prompt. Because we're working with a larger canvas, the maximum for this generation is 8 frames, so I'll select 8. I'm also turning Remove Background off because I want to preserve the entire scene. Now let's generate. And look at that! We get a full hammer slam animation happening across the entire image. So this tool can animate more than isolated sprites. It can also handle larger combat scenes, environments, cinematic moments, and interactions between multiple characters. We're also not limited to square canvases. Here I have a 196 by 130 image of a man casting a fire spell. I'm going to set it as the reference, and I'll prompt, "The man smiles and performs a powerful fire spell." I'll enhance the prompt and generate. And that's pretty cool. Now I want to extend the animation. So I'm going to use the final frame as another reference image. This time I'll prompt, "Finisher fire spell with bright flashes and a powerful final burst." I'll enhance the prompt and generate again. And now the original spell continues into a much bigger finishing move. This is a useful workflow for attacks that need multiple stages. Now let's move over to interpolate. Before using it, I'm going to create a few different states for this character with Create Image from Style Reference Pro. I'll prompt the same character in different action states, mid-punch, mid-spell, mid-fire punch, mid-kick, and other cool poses. And now we have several useful poses of the same character. These states are animations. Interpolation is different from Animate with Text. With Animate with Text, we normally provide one reference image and describe the movement. With Interpolate, we choose a first frame and a last frame. PixelLab then generates the frames that connect those two images. So we're controlling where the animation begins and where it needs to end. For the first example, I'm going to use the original idle pose as the starting frame. Then I'll use this magic pose as the ending frame. For the prompt, I'll write, "The character performs a magic spell." I'll enhance the prompt and generate 7 frames in between. Let's generate. And look at that! The character smoothly moves from the idle pose into the spell casting pose. Interpolation is especially useful when you already know the exact poses you want, but you need help creating the transition between them. And as always, it's good practice to clean up your generated frames afterward. Fix any inconsistent pixels, shapes, or details so the final animation matches your own standards and art direction. Now we can also use the same image as both the first and last frame. Here I'm using the magic pose at both ends, and I'm going to prompt, "The character holds the magic spell in a loop." For this one, I'm generating without enhancing the prompt. And look at that! It creates this funny little looping movement while the character holds the spell. You may notice that this result is simpler than some of the previous generations. That's partly because I didn't use Enhance Prompt. Enhancing the prompt usually gives the model more information about the movement, timing, energy, and transitions. That can help produce a more developed animation. Now I have another state where the character is holding 2 magic shields. I want to transition from the original magic pose into this shield pose. I'll set the magic frame as the first image and the shield frame as the last image. Then I'll prompt, the character opens the magic spell and transforms it into two shields. I'll enhance the prompt and generate. And look at that! Now the spell expands and transforms into two separate shields. When we combine this with the previous animations, we start getting a much longer sequence with multiple actions. Now I'm going to use the shield frame as both the first and last frame. For the prompt, I'll write idle breathing while holding the shields. Very subtle movement. I'll enhance the prompt and generate. Then I'll clean up a few frames. And now we have an even longer animation. The character casts the spell, then he opens it into shields, and then he continues holding them with a subtle idle loop. And again, all of this can also be done directly inside PixelLab's character creator. You can create each state there. You can interpolate between different poses, and you can organize the animations across every character direction. Interpolate can also create full character transformations. Here I'm going to use the first character as the starting frame and the second character as the ending frame. Then I'll prompt magical character transformation, no bright lights, subtle magical effects. I'll enhance the prompt and generate. And look at that! The first character smoothly transforms into the second one. Next, I have two versions of the same tree. One version has leaves and the other one doesn't. I'll use the leafy tree as the first frame and the empty tree as the final frame. For the prompt, I'm going to write, the tree catches fire and ends with no leaves. I'll enhance the prompt, generate 7 frames, and see what happens. And look at that. The leaves burn away as the tree transforms into the final empty version. For the final example, I'm using a vertical aspect ratio. So again, these tools are not limited to square images. Here I have a daytime scene of a character riding a bicycle, and I have a nighttime version that I created with Edit Image Pro. I'm going to use the daytime image as the starting frame and the nighttime image as the ending frame. For the prompt, I'll write pedaling through the path as the scene becomes dark and rainy. I'll enhance the prompt and generate. And just look at that. The character continues pedaling while the entire scene gradually changes from daytime into a dark, rainy night. And that's Animate with Text and Interpolate. Hopefully this gave you some ideas for your own characters, objects, and scenes. Let us know what you're working on and what you want to learn next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.